Hello ninjas, it's Silent Signs from I Dream of Indie, and today we are taking a look at Neptunia x SENRAN KAGURA Ninja Wars. This is a hack and slash action RPG with a heavy emphasis on story. In this story, we see two warring nations as represented by the Compa style ninjas, which are from the Neptunia series, and the Honeypaw style ninjas, which are from the SENRAN KAGURA series, which my sincerest apologies if I'm mispronouncing that. I'm actually not familiar with the series, but I have watched some of the Neptunia anime and played a few of the Neptunia games, so that's where more of my familiarity lies here. Either way, these two warring nations come together and unite against a common enemy, these mysterious robotic creatures from the Steam Legion led by Yo Gamer. I hope you like reading because you will be doing a lot of that here. In between action sequences, you are going to get quite a bit of text. These reading segments are how you are introduced to all of the 10 playable characters in this title. Each of these 10 characters have their own unique skills called ninja art skills, and what you'll do is select a lead character and a support character. You can equip them with various abilities and skills, as well as items such as spirit gems for different types of stat boosts, and you can purchase all manners of weaponry and items from the shop. Once you get through one of the rather long plot development sequences via text, you are thrown into a battle situation where you are often fighting a number of enemies, many of which start to look the same after a while, but they are quite cute, particularly the doggoos. At any point during combat, you can switch between your primary and your support character. Teamwork makes the dream work, as they say. As far as your actual methods of combat, you have a short range and a long range attack. Then you have those ninja art skills, which you can access by pushing the left bumper and then one of the action buttons. Using the right bumper and an action button, you get a number of different battle types with special abilities, including the wind battle type, which increases your stamina gauge, and the mountain battle type, which will allow you to guard against all attacks without taking damage. You can also build up to a Shinobi Extreme attack, which will deal out a great bit of damage to your opponent. The game does have 3 difficulty options, an easy, normal, and difficult, though you cannot change at any point during the game. There are only specific times you are able to change your difficulty, so do be wary of that. Once you enter a battle scenario, you're not going to be able to change the difficulty setting. Changing out your party members will also require a trip back to the Shinobi base, and while you're there, you might as well take a trip to the Peaches and Cream meditation. I don't even feel like I need to explain what this is. I think just a picture says 1,000 words here, despite the fact that they're going to give you 1,000 words anyway. I don't know if I'm necessarily relaxed after this meditation, but I do have a sudden urge to listen to that one song by the Presidents of the United States of America. Anyway, not to get too off topic here, you can travel from destination to destination via the world map. You don't have any sort of free reign or wandering ability here, but you do have the option to select locations that you've already visited, as well as the next location on your journey. This would also be where you're able to manually save your game, though I did find that it has an auto-save feature, which is super helpful because the game did in fact crash on me once. The worst thing that happened to me here is I had to skip through a bunch of text I already read, but fortunately it did save my progress in the actual action of the game, which is great. I won't get into everything this title has to offer, as there are a bunch of little odds and ends, like the Nin Chat, where you can talk to the different characters and take on some quests, as well as some training that you can undertake. They're all pretty well explained, but if you do have any difficulty remembering where to go for what, there's a great resource built into the game where you can check back on previous tutorials. The game is broken into chapters, which really feels appropriate when you consider the amount of reading you're doing here, because it does start to feel like a novel. While I did find the story humorous, or at the very least entertaining, I did think it was a little bit too much reading without enough action, though I did find the action sequences enjoyable once I finally got to play them. They are pretty mindless. You're not going to be required to use a whole lot of your brain power to get a victory in these battles. I played on the normal difficulty and really didn't have any trouble with it. There were a few times one of my characters were KO'd, but I found it was easy enough to find or purchase items that will either revive them or heal up your remaining character before they are also KO'd. So fairly low stress action that doesn't require a whole lot of thought, which is honestly how I like my action RPGs. As you can clearly see in this video, they stuck with the anime aesthetic for the art style, which I think works really well here. I do like the character art that they went with. I think all of the characters have a really nice, distinct look to them. They're super fun and bright and colorful, and that's why I kind of enjoyed the Neptunia series to begin with. It doesn't take itself too seriously, and it's just a bright pop of color, a little ray of sunshine. The menus are also neat and easy to understand, and the text is easy to read both in the docked and handheld mode of the game, which, speaking of handheld, it clearly takes a bit of a graphical hit once you switch to handheld mode. It's not unplayable by any means, and I didn't have any issues running the game except that one crash, but you can clearly see the difference in the resolution. As far as sound design, the game is fully voice acted, which is fantastic because if I'm going to be doing that much reading, I at least want to hear someone else reading along with me. Granted, yes, they are speaking in Japanese, but I do at least think it helps to add some emotion to the text. And you also get a lovely soundtrack with some great variety of tunes. You have your usual battle music, which is much more intense, some more light-hearted tracks in the common spaces, and just about everything in between. It's well orchestrated and well implemented. You have some great setting options if you'd like to have the music higher or lower in the mix. So overall, I'd say presentation is very well done, and it ran surprisingly well on the Switch. This entry into the Neptunia franchise is certainly something unique. I will give these developers credit. They are always trying something new with this franchise, which might not be the sequel that folks are looking for, but at least provides them with some new and creative content. Again, a lot of reading in this one, very story heavy, so as long as you don't mind reading through your plot development, or you're totally fine with just skipping it and moving on to action sequences, I'd say this title is actually pretty fun.
Amai! Amai!
So will you be joining forces with these ninja factions? Let me know in the comments down below. Before I go, I just want to thank our indie warriors, Bill T, Christian Cruz, Kevalo, Adriana Amato, CJR, PSC, Julian Kolbus, Jesse, Ray Lynn, Marky Mint, Dave Harp, Peekaboo, Lex Noyle, Carmen Red, King of the Hat, and indie legends Jen Rose, Larkison, Mitchell Hall, Eric Peach, Skeptism, C Coil, Nathan Moore, Chris Jackson, Mr. W, Blue Francis 14, the Beefarinis, and Chris Doherty. Thank you all so much for your support. Thank you for watching this video. If you haven't already, don't forget you can subscribe down below so you don't miss any of our reviews or gameplay impressions videos, and check out the description box below if you'd like to see how to become an indie warrior or indie legend yourself. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you next time.